Jackie.
Hi. What are you doing?
What's going on? Oh, my shirt is Men versus Cosplay.
Men versus Cosplay. I went to put your shirt on today, but it smelled like a new shirt, like vinegar or something, like a printed shirt, so I had to put it in the washer because it's new.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay.
My shirts normally don't stink, people. I'm not sure.
I'm wearing my friend Hector's shirt. He wrote a book called Faith and Fandom. It's about
cool.
finding religion and nerdy stuff.
Yeah, I follow him.
His books are really interesting too. It's surprising. That's cool.
Yeah. This is the last year's Men versus Cosplay shirt. So.
Yeah, that's cute. I didn't see the shirts. I should have got a shirt.
I've been on the calendar a couple years in a row. So, in fact, my calendar day was just a few days ago.
I know. I saw you post about it. It was you. Was it you and your daughter?
No, me and my wife.
Oh, you and your wife. Okay.
Yeah, it was our gender bent Furiosa and Max, or in her case, Maxine.
Maxine.
Yes.
That's cute.
So what's new?
Good with you?
What's going on?
Not much. Just
that's not true. There's all kinds of things going on.
Oh my gosh, everything's going on. So I went to Dragon Con.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of fun. I had a really good time. I got to hang out with a bunch of really cool people, and I got to meet a lot of people that listen to the podcast. So hello. And it was really nice to meet you. It's so funny. I posted that I met some people on our page, and was it Vicky? I can't remember the name. I'll have to click again. But I think Vicky posted that she was too shy to come say hi to me. What? Don't be too shy.
I saw that. I saw somebody say that. I was just
you never have to be shy. I want to say hi to everybody.
Well, plus, if there's anybody that is non-threatening to talk to, it's got to be you. I mean, you're like one of the most friendly people I've ever met. Well, I should say one of the most friendly people I've never met.
Never met. Yeah, that's right. And the funny part is, as long as you're in my general radius, there's a good chance I may just speak to you anyway.
Yeah, I just talk to people. What do you got going on over there? Why don't you go over here and talk to me?
Hey, friend. But I wanted so a bunch of people did come up to me, and I want to say hi to Keith and Wes and Nick and Jason. Nick works at Reynolds in Denver. Then Jason, Anna, Karen, and Kyle, he works in Vulpin Studio. It was nice to meet him. And Samantha, Sam, you looked awesome. So those are people that I have a associative thing where I try to remember everybody's names based on something about them. I posted about this on Facebook, but Steven Solo Roboto introduced me to this guy, Joe, and he's a photographer. And he's like, Joe cosplays a lawn gnome. And I was like, oh, yeah? And so now he's like, Joe the lawn gnome. And that's how.
A lawn? I thought you said a lawn gnome.
Yeah, a lawn gnome.
Okay. I thought you said a lawn gnome. I'm like, I don't know that character.
No, like an actual lawn gnome. It's so funny. But yeah, it's such a helpful way. I meet hundreds of, we all do, at cons, we are introduced by our friends to tons of other people. We meet people that we have something in common with or panel. So, I try really hard to think of something to remember people with. And it's funny because I posted that and then other people are like, so what is it that you learned my name?
Yeah. What do you remember me by?
Some people you don't need a name because it's just really easy. You either say it out loud so much referencing their stuff or they're they have a very specific look or a very specific costume and then you just learn it. Or their name is in their page or something.
Did you have anybody yell, "Hey, Kool-Aid" at you? Just wondering.
No, I had No, I had somebody in the panel say turtle, though, in my electronic panel. So that made me really happy. He asked a question, and he was like, hi, everybody, blah, blah, hi, Jackie, and turtle. And I was like, yes. And then I explained it because people were like, what?
Were there people like, this is like an inside joke I'm on the outside of? So, yeah. Turtle is now our unofficial mascot, I think, right? Is that what we decided?
Yeah, I really like that. That makes me so happy. I was so excited that he said that. It just made my day. That was the icing on the whole trip. So.
I'm cool with that. Turtles are cool. So,
Turtles are super cool. Yeah. Liz has a turtle and a tortoise. So I have actual experience with them.
Oh, you're like the aunt of turtles. The aunt of turtles.
Yeah, she's ridiculous. Yeah, so Dragon Con was a lot of fun. I met a ton of really cool people that I hadn't met in person. Basically everybody, because I live, in nowhere. So I, unless I've seen you at a con, I haven't met you. But I have these close relationships with some of these people, and I talk to them all the time. And it's so funny to get to see them, outside of the internet. Yeah, right. And Steve, SKS Props, I love Steve. We have such a good friendship. And we hadn't hung out outside of our shows, our show auditions together. And we've talked so much. So it was really great to get to hang out with him. And I spent a lot of time with him at the con. And He was so much fun. Like, I just love that dude. He just has such a cool personality. He cracks me up. I can like poke fun at him and he zings me right back.
Oh yeah, he's sharp. He's sharp. He's got a great wit, and he's really dry too. Is what I love about him.
That's my jam too, because I'm so like, sometimes I'm slapstick goofy and he's the opposite, and like I just love it. We have a good vibe. So I was really excited to get to hang out with him. Man,
he's a blast. Absolutely. Yeah. So. So you did a little bit of costuming.
I did. Wait, one more thing. Kyle from Volpin's shop.
Oh, sweet. Yes, Kyle. Kyle is actually somebody I know in person. So
yeah, I thought that was really cool.
He has also, you can find him under Cute Monster Props.
Yeah, and I saw one of his cute monsters he brought to the prop maker like pizza party. That was really cool. And he gave me this. It's just
that's
like
awesome.
Cool coin. If you're not watching, sweet. It's like a sundial coin thing.
Yeah, it's probably from a specific.
I know. I think he made it.
No, I mean like the style though. Is it like his own design or is it from?
I don't know. I got to Google it. I'm gonna like Google image it. But it's a sun and it's got a face and it's heavy. It's really like pretty. Really heavy.
So it's like a challenge coin then, kind of.
I sort of love it.
Yeah, it's cool.
Like.
He made me an Overwatch coaster a while back and sent one to me.
Oh, that's freaking cool. Yeah, he's a fun guy. I really enjoyed his personality. He's very smiley and very happy and smart, and I just enjoyed talking to him. So
yeah, way back when I met him because when I built the Samus pistol for Alicia, also known as Vert Vixen, I used his pattern way back when.
Oh, that's cool.
And we met over that, and we've known each other since. And we actually met each other in person at PAX, so.
Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, he's a nice guy. I like him a lot. I look forward to seeing him. And I'd like to get him on as a guest because he'll be working with Volpin, and he said he puts the podcast on sometimes in the shop. So
awesome.
I think it'd be fun to have, hear about his new experience. Like this is a new thing for him working there with Harrison.
Definitely. So. And he's worked at other prop shops in the past too. So
exactly.
Little insider info. History. See the difference there. So I was going to ask you about Dragon Con costuming. So what? I saw you unveiled your little mashup that you talked about on the podcast.
Yeah, I was.
You said was your idea.
A couple things. One, I will never wear a full big armor costume to Dragon Con again. I just don't care.
Which one did you do?
A working variant to my Cosplay Melee panel. Only because I didn't finish my May because I didn't finish the blaster. The whole so I was like, whatever. I'll just wear King variant and like, I don't know. It's just not a con to dress up like that at.
In a huge armor.
Some people, I have friends, and we have friends that like Dragon Con's their premier con. They make a big costume for that con. Yeah. I don't get that. That's not what I want to do. I will only wear gag and like funny costumes.
Is that just because of the sheer amount of people that are there?
The sheer amount of people, it is just not worth it. It's not comfortable, and people can't help. You get knocked a lot, and like they can't. Yeah. It's like some people are polite about it and some aren't, but there's just too many people that you're gonna be uncomfortable. And I was hot, but I'm all I've worn stuff in the summer before and it didn't bother me. It's just not enjoyable to be like that smushed in. So I'll only wear funny costumes.
Gotcha.
My White Walker Waldo was a lot of fun.
White Walker Waldo. That was the mashup that you kind of hinted to on the podcast a couple episodes ago, and you said you wouldn't tell us what it was. And then my question is did somebody come and find you and get their pin?
Okay. Oh my gosh. So I actually have a list of pins to send out because I left my bag of pins on the kitchen counter.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I owe you list. So like oh my gosh, it was ridiculous. Like I have a bunch I need to send out. And a lot of people did find me. I feel like I was pretty recognizable because of the red hair. Like I was spotted throughout the whole con because I'm average height and like I have, bright red hair and like people you can find me in the crowd pretty easily. Yeah. So I had people that spot me like across the con, just yell Jackie, and then like it was great. It was like the best red flag thing ever. Like I could totally find all the people. I didn't have to worry about finding a lot of people because they would just find me. I still did manage to miss a few friends, which sucks, but we'll see for BlizzCon. I definitely, oh my gosh, I'd never put a prosthetic on before. I'd never done anything like that. I'd never sculpted onto my face. Like it doesn't show in the photographs, but I sculpted all the wrinkles on my lips. Like that's not a prosthetic. I sculpted with wax.
So was all the dimension on the zombie makeup for Waldo? Was that all sculpted onto your face, or did you actually make appliances?
So the only spots that don't have sculpting or an appliance are right here.
Yeah.
Because the appliance didn't cover it, and my hair was down, and I ran out of time to like keep sculpting, or I would never make it downstairs. So the appliance is from mostlydead.com. They just released this appliance. Actually, I saw it 6 or 5 months ago when this idea came to me, and I put it on a wish list. And I got an email saying it was in stock. That's like the first time that's ever worked to my advantage. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's right before the con. So I bought it immediately. It was cheap, it's $30. It's foam latex, so it's not reusable. Yeah. And it smells like cupcake batter, which you may think that's good in the beginning. It's like eggy cupcake batter. And like that's fine for a little while, but after a while, I just was not feeling that smell like at all, because it's right on your nose. So the appliance just went like over my eyebrow, on my cheekbone, and then across my nose. So like I had to sculpt through here. I had to blend all through here. And I made some mistakes that I'd never put anything on like that before, but I made some mistakes I've learned from now, which are like just really making sure I don't accidentally smush that like sweet little feathered edge out under, because once it's stuck with the Prozade, it was stuck. Also, I don't have a straight hairline. I have like a very crazy hairline. I ripped so much baby hair out with that Prozade.
Oh yeah. So you applied the appliance with Prozade then?
Yes, and it's amazing. I did all the wax also with Prozade, and I sealed it with Prozade, which Gary, Beer Money Props, taught me that, which was nice, because I saw the day that Steve checked in SKS Props, I went to their room and Gary was there, and I talked to him about the appliance. Yeah. And he told me like, because it's really porous, put a couple coats of the Prozade on and then put your paint on. It worked really well.
Really? So was it just like regular dilution when you sealed it?
Yeah, and that way I only had a couple coats.
Really? So you just like brushed it on there?
Yeah, because I didn't get the cream Prozade. I actually got like the regular Prozade, so it's pretty watery anyway.
Oh, okay. Well, I've never used Prozade, so I'm not really sure what the consistency of it's like. So. Well,
so I've learned a lot about like this stuff called like cab patch, which is funny. It's called face bondo, is what they keep referring to.
Yeah, it's Cabasil based.
Yeah. And so like you can mix fillers into the cream Prozade and create your own kind of patch bondo too. Yeah. So in hindsight, I would have gotten a thin Prozade and that one, because I had to patch with the wax and then layers of Prozade to seal it. And that was harder because it's harder to work with. The wax isn't as easy. And but I ordered so much stuff too, and it got stuck in Texas because of the hurricane. Oh no! So I went with like a minimum. It all arrived. I took a picture. It all arrived like the day after.
The day after you got back, right?
But yeah, it was just like ridiculous. So
Oh yeah. Let me finish talking about the Waldo first, though. So I want to know what gave you that idea. When did you go? I know, but was there something that happened that you go, I'm going to cross Waldo with a walker from Game of Thrones?
Well, I mean, like, I was thinking of, like, I want to wear Waldo, and what would be a fun Waldo mashup.
Yeah.
So, like, the first thing that came to my mind was White Walker Waldo. It's just like one that's like a phonetic.
So. Yeah, that's true. I like it. No, I thought it was great, and you looked awesome.
And everybody got it. So it was so funny. So many people in the crowd. I couldn't smile either because I had really like cemented that stuff on my face. So I'm just like making a dead face the whole time. And that's not me trying to make that face. I'm frozen in that face.
You kind of, dead and frozen. It kind of fits the character.
It fits, yeah. So I walked around and people would be like, White Walker Waldo, or like, where's White Walker? Like stuff like that. So like they got it. And it was so much fun how people reacted. But it's like there's certain friends that I would talk to, they're like, I just can't handle looking at you right now, like this is I can't believe this is you. And it was a little freaky, and I felt every time I saw myself I was like, oh my gosh, I look so weird. Like I love makeup and I love like beauty makeup, so it's definitely out of my comfort zone to look so like haggard, but I had a really good time. So
pasty.
Yeah, I just looked crazy and like 100 years old, but it was so fun. And like it was like another slight nod to like, I wish on the show I had been able to do my own makeup, like do my own prosthetic and makeup, because I wanted, to me, like I would have wanted the White Walker to look more like a White Walker. So it felt like it was a little bit of, just kind of redeeming myself in that character concept. But
I still think it looked great. So,
well, thank you. But I just, I wanted to have like the whole crazy cheekbones and eye bones, like that hollow look.
Oh, you mean like when you were on
Cosplay Melee?
Yeah, because you didn't do your own makeup on Cosplay Melee.
No, I didn't. And like I definitely, so this was more of like how I would have done it, and you could see the two differences, and like it's definitely, it is what it is. But anyways, I had a really good time. It was a lot of fun. It was so strange to peel off my face, though. It was like it felt great and bad at the same time, because like once you get it off, you want the whole thing off fast.
Yeah, you want it off now.
Oh, and it was just not fun to get off. Like I have the Telesis. I don't know how to pronounce the brand, but we all are familiar with it. Yeah. I have the remover that I use for like my green marble and blue marble sealers for body paint, because the green marble sealer is waterproof, so it's really hard to remove. And that remover took it off like just like cream swipe, so it was great.
Yeah, that remover is kind of amazing. It seems to just
smells
like
terrible, but it works great.
Really? I kind of like the way it smells. I think it smells kind of
okay. Then you're one of those kids that like the smell of gasoline, because it smells like gasoline to me.
No, it doesn't smell like gasoline, but I have to admit, I like the smell of like when they're laying new roadway and you have that tar smell.
Oh yeah.
I like the smell of fresh tar. So
it was a little bit that meets gasoline to me, but it works really well. So
and diesel,
I got it off.
And the smell of diesel gives me an instant headache. So I don't like any of those. But
yeah, I don't like those either. We had a gasoline container in the shop for a while, and I was like, this cannot live in here. It's got to get out, because even though it was sealed, I still smelled it.
You can still smell it. Yeah.
Like I'm really
so you did your Varian, right? That was armor. Was that just for like a couple hours or something then?
Yeah, that was like for like 2 hours.
And then you did White Walker Waldo. Was that like for most of a day, or?
Yeah, I wore that for I don't know, quite a few hours.
Yeah. Did you do any other costuming besides those two?
I brought Ganon, and I did a Jedi Snow White. That was like a casual costume.
Oh, I don't think I saw that one.
Yeah, it's I just posted a selfie because like I was so tired that day, and I changed into that at like 9:30, and like I had to cut the wig and stuff, and it was so hard to deal with. Like, oh my gosh, it was just, I hated it. I left the wig I was going to wear here, and so I brought my Farrah wig, and I had to hack it up and use it as the Snow White wig, which is great because I'm wearing Mecha Queen Farrah to BlizzCon, and that doesn't need a wig. So
well, there you go. Yeah, that's true.
So I just used that wig for this one, and it was like itchy and uncomfortable, and that's weird because I've worn a lot of wigs worn two wigs for a long period of time, multiple times, and this wig was so itchy. I did not enjoy it at all. So I was pretty happy to get out of that. And it was so hot at night because the Marriott's packed. The Hyatt was so much cooler the entire con.
Really?
Yeah, the cops were in there. So, like, I low-key have a theory that the cops are protecting it. So they're like, let's keep the cops comfortable because they have all that gear on. And so everybody just went to the Hyatt. I mean, it was great. It was so cold.
Yeah. So, and then, so besides doing your own makeup, you did a guest makeup too, right?
I did. Bill, our friend Bill Duran. I did his old man Logan.
Yeah, and there's a video of it on punishprops.com and Punish Props YouTube channel. And I watched the video, and I have to admit, when I started it, I'm like, this is like almost 20 minutes long. I don't know if I can sit here and watch somebody do makeup for 20 minutes.
Yeah, I can see that would be hard.
But you know what? I was enthralled the whole time.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I've only watched half of it. I got interrupted, so I have to finish the whole thing. But I lived it, so I know.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, it's a fun video. I really enjoyed watching it. So
that makes me so happy because when I do makeup, I have to, I got to be a little more quiet. So I'm trying to focus, and it's different. It's as a makeup artist, I've done a lot of makeup. And when someone's facing you, it's a lot easier. But because we had to film and we're in a bathroom, it's not like a set. I'm having to like turn and go into Bill. So it was like it was like unnatural territory for me. So I was really trying to focus on getting his face symmetric. And oh man, it was 1,000 degrees in that bathroom, like so hot because we had to close the door for sound and stuff. So
gotcha.
So I was trying to focus really hard, and I was like, I don't even know what this is gonna be like for people.
Well, the video is fun to watch, and the makeup turned out great. Bill's old man Logan looked fantastic. It was so fun.
I really enjoyed doing his makeup, and like we did the hands and we did the chest, and it was the first real guy's makeup I've ever done. I've done so many girls, and I've done a lot of crazy looks on myself. But it's so funny because like my favorite part is when he closes his eyes. And I'm like, close your eyes, and I go to put eyeshadow on. He's like, that's a feeling you're never prepared for. I didn't even think to tell him I was about to brush his eyelids. I expect he knows, and of course he doesn't know
because he doesn't normally put makeup on.
Yeah, makeup on, exactly. So the one thing, because some of my makeup products got stuck in Texas, I was sad I didn't have the wrinkle stipple from Ben Nye.
Yeah.
I'm so bummed because like I had an old one, like it's like 2 years old and it was all dried up, or maybe like a year and a half old. I opened it to do a test makeup on myself and then never used it again, and it dries out really fast.
Oh, gotcha.
I guess.
Yeah.
So I ordered more and it didn't make it, and I was so sad because that would have been perfect. I mean, so I had to fake the look of wrinkles and dirtiness, and it's a lot cooler to do it with the wrinkle stipple. But he looked so cool, and it was super fun, and
yeah,
I don't know.
I bet he had a great response too.
He did. I did his makeup twice because of it.
Oh, really? Wow. So he did it a couple times.
Yeah, I was the whole time, like, I was doing his makeup. Bill is not somebody, he's not like me. He's not like, oh my God, this is amazing. This is looking great. But he doesn't know what to expect. So as I'm doing it, I'm like, does he think this is like, is he going to hate this? Does he think this is terrible? Because he,
you're like second guessing yourself the whole time.
Exactly. And then we go out into the natural light and we walk to go meet Steve and Brittany. Yeah. They're at the Gears of War meetup. And someone says like, hey, Jackie. And, they don't even recognize Bill. And then they walk past and like, Bill? Awesome. And that moment, I was just like, oh, man. And Bill was really happy. Like, I dirtied up his chest and his hands and the shirt a little bit. And, like, we really brought the whole thing together. And it looked so fun. And as the night went on, the makeup got better because it would sweat a little bit and it would get kind of like grungy.
A little worn into it and a little more like realistic.
And so he wanted it another day. And I was like, wow, that was like the moment like, all right, Bill likes this. That's cool. So and when I saw Ted was like, hey, we should do a makeup together. And I was like, dude, yeah. Like I had fun. I like doing makeup on people. I've been doing that since I was 15. And it's like, I used to do prom makeups and wedding makeups and stuff for friends. And it would be really, it's fun to get to do crazy stuff on people. Like I'd like to do more sculpting and stuff.
I volunteer as tribute. You can make up on me anytime you want.
Okay, that sounds good. We'll do that.
You just have to come to Seattle to do it.
Well, eventually, hopefully I'll be there for ECCC.
ECCC.
Yeah, that's a lot. Can I call it like E cubed or something?
E
cubed. There you go.
EC cubed.
Yeah. It's it sounds a little like Ice Cube.
You can't call it E3 because it's that.
Because that's a con, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, E3 is, yeah. But anyways, I had a lot of fun.
EC3, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. I'm glad you had a good time because if I remember right, you were kind of about Dragon Con after the last time you went.
Yeah, I went 2 years ago, and like I just wasn't that immersed in the community at that point. Like I've only been cosplaying for a few years, and so I just didn't know everybody yet. Hadn't been to cons to meet people, and was kind of just another casual. And which is great. But the best thing about Dragon Con is going with friends, and I didn't have any friends in my life at that time that cosplayed. Like none of my normies, they aren't even interested in it at all. Like nobody in my like normal life gives a crap about cosplay, like even a little bit. So they have no idea what I do. My grandfather says that I make Star Wars stuff. I've never made any Star Wars at all.
Made anything from Star Wars.
He tells people all the time. Yeah. And Nana says I make stuff for the .com because she thinks Comic-Con is .com.
Oh, gotcha. For the .com.
And that's not right. And
you're
so
like, well, close enough.
And then like my neighbors and my cousins are all like, oh, could you make me a really cool Halloween costume? No. For $7,000, I could, sure. You know, like
yeah, I know.
Just joke. It's like they think that I make stuff that's like, you know.
No, I get that.
It's so weird.
I have that all the time. We get we'll get somebody new at work. We have a few new people at work right now, and they find out, the stuff I do on the side and all that. And they're like, oh yeah, will you make me you'll make me a Halloween costume so I can win a contest, right? I'm like,
yeah,
but it'll probably cost more than what you'd win for your contest, so. They're like, really?
And really? There's no polite way to handle it. That's the worst.
No,
it's so hard to be polite and because you can't say, oh, it would be really expensive and then give them a quote because they'll think, are you being mean? Like, are you being mean to me? No, I'm not being mean to you. I'm a solo project. I'm a solo, operation here.
Sole proprietor. Yeah, maybe it's mean, but I finally just started saying, yeah, you can't afford me. and then one of my other coworkers that I've worked with for a while, I'll be like, yeah, you really can't. They'll just kind of back me up,
Yeah. I just tell them like, sorry, I'm too busy.
Yeah. I'll be like, well, I can put you on a commission list in 3 years. So that, they're like, really? I'm like, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, it's crazy. But so Dragon Con was definitely better having a group of friends. I loved hanging out with everybody, just seeing the faces. I love just like running around and just checking out all the different spots where people kind of like hang out because like all of my groups of friends have their own like same spots they always attend.
Yeah, kind of hangouts and places
really fun.
They want to be, right?
Yeah. So
very cool.
Dragon Con was fun. I definitely I will say that I got lost a lot, and that was pretty terrible. I live streamed like from Instagram.
I enjoyed your getting lost live streams. Those were fun.
Yeah, it was actually really surprising that like people could help me in the live stream how to get back to where I was. But the problem was like I'm one of those people that just asks people. Like, so every time I'd be walking to them, like, hey, can you tell me how to get here? And I'd ask like 7 people if I had to. I don't mind. I'm not shy.
Yeah.
And I always got there, but I kept missing this one turn and going to the Hyatt like 3 times in a row, trying to go to America's Mart. I followed the flow, and it was like a break to stop and go left. So I would just naturally go right. And I'm like, why am I here every time?
You're like, this looks familiar.
Yeah. Okay. So, that was interesting. And
a bit of deja vu.
And then we had the pizza party thing at this mellow marshmallow pizza place. Yeah. And you could walk there, and I couldn't figure it out. So I asked 3 cops along my journey how to get there. Like, because I would ask, like, look, I was thinking, how am I going to find people that know where this is? And like the con goers, I don't know if they know. So like, I'd stop. There are cops stationed along the way. So I'm like, hi, can you tell me how to get here? And I'd show them like on my phone, this is how it says. And luckily they all knew, so they pointed me the right direction. But it was off of, it's outside of the con, so
gotcha.
I had to walk in the city. Yeah.
How far was that from where the con's at?
It was like an 8-minute walk, but I mean, I'm sure that all the people that went probably knew a shorter way. I just followed like my Google Maps thing that tells you how to walk. And it doesn't
always give you like the best route.
No, it's so bad. Oh, I hate it. Yeah, so that was fun. I had a good time in Dragon Con. I'll definitely consider going again. I will say, real talk though. Let me I'm gonna have a real moment with you. So a bunch of you fools, not you guys listening, just other people that I'm talking to. You know who you are. Everybody always says like, the Marriott is I don't stay at the Marriott because, you're just going to Elevator Con and Line Con. What are you talking about? It was fine. Like, I waited longer at the Hyatt to ride the elevators there, bros. So I don't know what floor you're staying on or what your problem is. And I'm sorry, are we against the stairs? Because I'm not. I took the stairs. If you need to go up to go down or take a few stairs, just take a few stairs. There's nobody in there. There were 2 poops in stairwells, but that's a thing. So do be mindful of the poops.
Like actual.
Yeah, like humans poops. Yeah. Because, people are really adult when they go to cons, so.
Yeah.
So gross. But the Marriott was great. That was a wonderful experience, being able to stay in the host hotel and just go straight down and look over my balcony to see, like, can I spot a friend and who's down there? And, like, I don't know, I liked it.
Is the Marriott the one that has the big open center?
Yeah.
And it kind of looks like a beehive?
The Marriott's like it looks like a beehive. That's like the party or like the central location. So everybody comes to the Marriott to hang out. So it's really convenient. You could just go up and down as you need to your room. And on the nights that people are partying, there's no lines for like, there's no lines throughout the evening. There's only, the elevator only was troublesome leaving.
Gotcha.
Because everybody has their luggage and they're all like trying to leave. So
taking off and.
That was rough. But everything else. Fine. I never waited more than like 4 minutes for an elevator. Like, so I had no issues with it. I didn't mind it. I felt like, I didn't get stressed out at the con. It was wonderful. I'm trying to think if there's anything. I don't know. I mean, parking is expensive as crap though, dude. I couldn't believe it. I paid like $250 in parking.
What?
Yeah, it's $45 a day for valet.
What?
Yeah. I know, and there's people listening going like, Jackie, what is wrong with you? That is not how we park at Dragon Con. And I'm like, well, I know that now.
That's what you made work, huh?
Yeah, it was a interesting decision. But all in all, the con was great. My electronics panel was super fun. I gave away a 3D printer. It was a completely packed panel, of course, because I mentioned I was giving away a 3D panel. The questions are a 3D panel, a 3D printer.
3D printer.
An older lady won it. It was her first thing she'd ever won in her life. Cool. The Dragon Con staff were amazing. They handled the raffle tickets, picking them up, passing them out. Like that costume and track staff is the bomb. They were so accommodating, so nice. The panel was super fun. The questions were amazingly fun. And I just really, that was my favorite part. Cosplay Melee panel was fine. It was great to see my other contestants, but having a panel with 6 or 7 people is too much.
It's a lot of people.
It doesn't work. Like it's not someone asks a question, and but if they want every single person to answer, you can only take like 3 questions.
Yeah, you kind of have to just break it up. Like 1 or 2 people answer, and then everybody just kind of takes a turn, from question to question or whatever. So
So the electronics with just the three of us was a freaking blast. So I would do that panel over and over again.
Who was on you with that? Who was with you on that panel?
Eldritch Arts, and then
Eliza.
Yeah, Eliza. She was really nice. I liked her. And then the guy from Robot Costumes, that company that always makes the robots at the con. Gosh, I can't think. Robot something. He was really nice. He used to work at Universal Studios and did animatronics. So it was
gotcha.
It was like it covered all of this whole, like, all of our perspectives.
Yeah.
And it was really cool.
Who put that panel together?
Dragon Con.
Oh, did they? So they contacted the three of you and were like, hey.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So, like, it was fun. And I guess, like, I don't know why they picked the three of us, but it was really fun. I enjoyed it. I wired a little motor, a little servo, and with a DP-DT switch, and showed people how to make something go two directions. Because we had, like, cameras set up at the tabletop so we could show stuff, and they went to, like, two projectors.
And
yeah, it was so cool.
It projected at the same time?
Yeah, like two big projectors. It was set up so well, and so I brought a bunch of kits, like a whole ton of kits, and so, like, when people would talk about something, I'd lift it up and show it, and I love that because that's how I learn. And you know, I'm new to all this, and so I brought Arduinos and robot kit and Arduino beginner sets, and just to show, like, this is what you get. It comes with lessons, and people wrote stuff down, and they'd ask us again to, like, repeat a name so we could spell it. Like, I've been on that side, and that's exactly how I learned. So it's it's really, it feels so community, like a bit, or like tight, you know, when you're sitting there, like, all talking together about, like, this is how I figured out how to do this. And, like, they give you a problem that they need solved, and then you, like, all kind of talk through it together. And there were even people in the audience that would, like, yell out something. And I don't know, it just felt really cool. It felt like a big nerd panel full of, like, smart people that were just all talking. You know? I had a great time. I loved it. I could sit and talk to, like, the people in that room all day.
Yeah. Well, you know, people may not know this, but you're pretty good at talking, so.
Most of the time. I talk really fast, though.
So I had a couple of people mention to me, hey, because I was at a con this last weekend, and a couple people were like, I really, really like the podcast. That Jackie really likes to talk.
I do, yeah. Man, people were so nice about the podcast. That just, like, made my day at Dragon Con, having so many people come up and talk about it. Like, because you don't even realize, you know, who's listening. I mean, I know people are listening. I know you guys are listening. People talk to us, but it's nice to meet. It's nice to talk in person about it too.
No, but it's really nice to get that interface because, I mean, we have a social media presence, but I think most of the time people don't think about it. And
and they don't comment all the time.
And they don't comment much because I honestly don't. I mean, with the way algorithms and stuff are, I have no idea how many people are actually seeing things that we, you know, when I post something and all that. So yeah, to have people come up in person and be like, hey, talk about it a little bit. Thank you for it. That's always.
I met this one guy that said really, that he talks back.
Really encouraging. Some of really? Like yelling at us, you idiots!
Yeah. So, like, if you're one of those people that talks back, please tell us that you talk back to us at the camera, because that makes me laugh so much. Because I sort of imagine that. Yeah. I'm like a bad fan. I'm talking and you're like, oh, or you're like, yeah, I like that.
I'll do that a lot when I'm listening to a podcast because something will come up and somebody can't remember, like, the name of a movie or the name of something, and I'll be like yelling it at them. It's such and such. It's such and such, and they're like, man, I just can't. And it was like, you're killing me.
Yep. I do the same thing. I was listening to the H3H3 Jenna and Julian podcast, and they were talking about, like, ancient aliens and conspiracy theories, and I was, like, yelling stuff into my car, and, like, nobody's listening to me. I don't know who I'm talking to, but I can't stop myself.
That's hilarious. So, yeah, absolutely hilarious. Yeah, so it's fun to have that interaction and have people talk back in person and thank us for the podcast and stuff. I've been getting a lot of messages over Instagram the past couple of days too about it for some reason. So.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Even though we really haven't been consistent for the past 2 months, but.
Yeah, it's been really hard. Something else that was strange is I didn't realize that I hadn't been to a con since the show aired. So the show wasn't promoted very well. They had a really strange structure for that, and, like, man, it's such a bummer that it just, I don't know, it could have been promoted better, but whatever, budget and whatnot. But I met tons of people that watched the show. So many people came up to me, and the craziest thing ever is to have people come up to you in normal clothes.
Yeah.
So I'm not a celebrity. I have no ego. I'm very aware that I'm a normal person. Okay, let me just start with that. Before,
I don't know if normal.
I'm not
really
normal, but I'm nothing special. So I mean, maybe I'm unique in my own way, but not celebrity. Anyways, I just want to say that, get that disclaimer out of the way, because when you talk about certain things, it does come off cringy and ego-y, and like I don't want to come off that way.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so here's the thing: neither one of us are celebrities as far as we're concerned.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm not even a celebrity. I'm not even the most famous person in my own family. Like.
Interesting. But I will say people do. I mean, I have had this, and even before we started the podcast, is people will treat you like a celebrity.
Yeah, they treat you
kind of
different than just like a normal person in the grocery store. Yeah.
Yeah, which is something I'm still just not.
At a con, especially because it's like I have been in those shoes. I have seen somebody that I've like. First time I met Abby Darkstar, I was like, Abby, oh my gosh, I love you, because I love what she does. I love her and her husband's presence. I think she's a sweetie. She's a normal person, but she was a celebrity within this this arena.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I love her. I think she's a complete peach. She's just I got to see her at Dragon Con. She's one of the sweetest people. She's so smart. And anyways, I could tangent all day about people.
I agree. But I love Abby and Keith as well.
It was so strange to me to have people come up to me and recognize me out of costume. Obviously, the hair helps, but to just want to take a selfie or want to say hi. And it felt like, oh, man, I guess people did watch the show. And all of the people were people that watched it. And they'd come up to me, and a lot of teenage girls, probably 80% teenage girls, which was
that's cool.
Really cool. Because
that's awesome.
That audience is important to me.
Yeah.
You know, like it made me so happy. And it was groups of teenage girls. Well, funny. So the point in the story is that I'd be with Steve a lot. And like Steve is not the person that's easy to come up to. So I was checking out of the line. I was checking out of the line to get lunch. And Bill and Brittany and Steve and Ted were already all sitting at the table. And I was checking out. And these 4 girls walk in front of me. And they check out and they kind of just back up to the wall. And I'm like, I don't know, just like they're 4 like cute little teenage girls. And I'm checking out and they go, "Are you Jackie Craft?" From behind. And I'm like, why, yes. And they're like, we just binged your Cosplay Melee show and we thought you were so good, blah, blah. And they were so nice, like just real sweet and nice. And they were like, we think you're awesome. And I was like, you're awesome. And, we just said hi and moved on. And as I was walking out, I was like, oh, SKS Props, he won his episode. He's over here too if you want to say hi. And they're like, okay. And they come by where we're all sitting and they just keep walking. But they look over at me and over at Steve and like, I know that Steve just has that face. I know what it's like to be a teenage girl and think about walking up to Steve. Like that's a little terrifying.
Yeah.
So it happened again. We're in the Hyatt and we're with we're going. I don't remember what we're doing at this moment, but we're in the Hyatt and these 3 teenage girls. I have to send them pins actually. They come up to me or they're at a distance and they're staring at me. And the way teenage girls like start to talk and they're looking, they're talking about you.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And they walk up and they're like, hey, we watched your show, blah, blah. It was really awesome. We just wanted to say hi. And we listened to the podcast and we heard that they listened to the podcast too, which is, I did not even realize that we had teenage girl audience because
I didn't either.
That made me really happy. I was like, yeah, girls, like, they have so much going on in their lives that seems like something they couldn't even fit in. But
yeah, right.
Super cute. And one of them sent me a message about the pins, so I have to send those out. And Steve was beside me. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is Steve. He was also on the show. And Steve's talking to Brian. And he's just like standing there talking and he kind of glimpses over, but he's not like engaging himself to help them want to like be able to talk to him. And eventually they walk away and I'm like, Steve, these are sweet little lambs. You have to approach them first. They scare easily. It was a habit through the weekend. Like people would come up.
He wasn't wearing his grumpy cat makeup, was he? Was he wearing his...
It's so funny to me because he's such a nice guy, but he definitely has that, he can be a little intimidating to approach because of that serious face, the serious face.
Yeah, he has a very like grumpy resting face.
Yeah, and he cosplayed Grumpy Cat. Like,
yeah, well, did he tell you how that whole thing came about?
Yeah, it was the whole it was at a con. Which con was it?
It was actually Emerald City. I mean, he's had. I think it's been at other cons too, but he does Skeletron from Turbo Kid, and he has to black out his eyes, and he whips off his mask, and Alvarez is like, "You look exactly like Grumpy Cat," and then he does like the Grumpy Cat face, and we're like, "That has to be a cosplay."
It's perfect. Like he does.
Yeah. So then he had a t-shirt. So for everybody that doesn't know, for Dragon Con, he had a t-shirt made that said, "I cosplayed once and I hated it."
Yeah, right. I love that so much.
So
it made me, it's the best t-shirt ever.
So he did his Grumpy Cat at I'm assuming like in the evenings or whatever.
Yeah,
at
like
Dragon Con.
Yeah, it was so fun. I really enjoyed that. So it was cool. Oh, so other experiences I had with meeting people. I'm trying to like think through this thought in my head, or I'll just lose it. Kyle, Vulcan's new shop employee, he told me that he needed to explain to his mom what cosplay was, and showed her my show, and she cheered me on and rooted for me.
Oh, cool! Yeah, that's awesome.
I know. I was like, that's cool.
Awesome.
And a girl that I gave, she did a Cassandra at Wizard World New Orleans. I gave her a Best Female Hero award, and her family watched the show, and they were like, dude, that girl gave you an award, and she's on TV. And so like that was a really special kind of like full circle moment to like see somebody I had seen before the show and like gave an award to, and she's an awesome costume maker. It was just, I don't know, it was cool.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, and oh man, there's a lot of other stories too that are embarrassing for the people, because some people are nervous even if you aren't, like they're just nervous talking to people, and like I had a girl cry and
oh, really?
she was like shaking. Yeah, but I think that trust me, I know that had nothing to do with me. I'm not Brad Pitt. It was because she was a nervous girl.
Yeah.
It was like so sweet, and her oh man, she was just such a sweet girl. And then another girl made me make a video in my White Walker saying hi to her friend, and then they came and met me another day. I just had a lot of fun just talking to fans and peers, really.
Yeah.
Fan is a weird word to say.
Well, but the thing is since you were on the show, you are going to have fans from the show.
Yeah.
And they're going to see you in a little bit different light than just this cosplayer and occasional whatever. But yeah, I mean, you're going to have show fans, and like you said, it's the first con you've been. It's the first con you've been to since the show aired, which I mean, it's been.
I couldn't believe it. It was a surreal experience.
Yeah, I bet.
A lot of fun.
I bet.
And I just, I tried really hard to interact with, and oh my gosh, met this guy, and he listens to the podcast, and he's from North Carolina. He works at Wake Forest Business School. So if you're listening, I remember you. And I'm talking to Tony from TNT Cosplay Supply, and I see him walking down the hall. And he looks at me, and he's like, he just stops and pauses and looks at his phone, and I could tell it's about me. And I'm like, hi. And he's like, I recognize you. You're Jackie Craft. And I was like, I am. And he's like, can I take a selfie? And I was like, yeah. And that's how I noticed his lanyard. And it was just such a funny experience to see somebody like stop and they want to say something to you. And I don't know, if you stop, if I know that you're talking about me or you're looking at me, I'm going to call you.
You're going to be like, hey, what's going on over there?
I'm a radar. Like, I'm looking for you. And because I love meeting people.
I do too.
I love it. I could feel my life is made so much better by meeting as many people on this earth as I can that share my interests. I mean, that's the truth. Like, I feel enriched that's such a cheesy, I know that sounds so cheesy, but I genuinely mean it. Like, I'd be a lonely little llama if I didn't have all these people to talk to.
Welcome to Cheesy Hour with Jackie.
Yeah, it is. It's the food.
Today we are talking about emotions.
I just enjoy it. So
I do too. And the more, it's like the longer I'm part of this community and the more cons I attend and stuff, really I get the most fun out of meeting people. Me too. And hearing their story, their experience. And everybody's so different, but we all love the same stuff, and that's what's cool. Yeah, exactly. And then you can talk about whatever, certain fandom you have in common and whatnot, so that's just like my favorite thing now is just like you were talking about, meeting people. Yeah, me too. I love it. It's and DragonCon was a special collective group of people that I'm not really sure. I'm kicking a bunch of XTC containers under here and they won't get out of the way. It was just a wonderful experience, but Yeah, I would say I don't, as far as this kind of stuff goes, probably nothing makes me happier than when somebody comes up to me and say, I follow your work and because of this or whatever, I now want to or have done this, and it's like, and like my favorite words, you're such a huge inspiration. That's just like, for me, that's just shakes you to the core because it does. It really does. It does. Because it's like, because it's like you have this connection with them over something that is, it's just crafting, right? I mean, we're just people making stuff, but and there's tons of people that inspire me. So it's exactly. Yeah, that's the thing, because I mean, both you and I are where we are in our journey as crafters and makers and whatever, because of all the people that came before us and that we've learned from and that we've met and that we've befriended and things like that. So that's, I think, my my favorite thing about going to cons is doing that. And if you haven't gone to a con in a while, you kind of forget about that because you kind of get stuck in work mode, and you kind of forget. It's like, why do I do all this stuff?
Oh my gosh, yes, exactly. Like I literally hadn't gone to an event since KatsuCon, and like that was a long time ago, and I've been working on tons of stuff and like a lot that I couldn't talk about until this BlizzCon thing, which I am so excited I can talk about finally, because it is like it has been killing my soul that I couldn't just shout from the rooftops, I'm going to work with Blizzard for BlizzCon. Like, that's my raptor squeal, so it doesn't make you deaf.
That's awesome. Are we gonna go to that subject, or are we done about?
Well, no, we can get to that. I want to
okay.
I want to say
I wasn't sure if
something
we were
that I found
segueing there, if we were wrapping up Dragon Con or.
Well, I have one more thing. So, okay, let me think if there's anything else. A couple things I want to mention at Dragon Con is, one thing, spending a lot of time with Bill and Brittany Duran. I know them online. They're wonderful. We've hung out on Skype and stuff, but I have to say that being around them is even more inspiring. They are so incredibly brilliant, absolute business geniuses. They
shout out to our buddies.
Yeah. One thing that is like, it's so amazing to hear is we were walking and talking about fans. Somebody was upset because they didn't get to meet them, but they weren't upset with them. They were upset.
They were just upset that.
Did you see that post?
No, I didn't.
Okay, it was in the box shop, Harrison's group, and I saw it and I was like, oh man, that's such a bummer, because it was not negative about Bill and Brittany at all, but they could have just posted it in the Prop Tart group. Like, people would have been like, hey dude, just push in and say hi. Bill and Brittany they're fine with people coming up to them if they're at a con, doesn't matter when.
Oh yeah.
They're so, and like we were talking about this while they were walking, and they are fiercely protective of their fans. Like, and this is their words. That's Bill's words. He is fiercely protective of the Prop Tarts, and like they love their fans so much. They bring like magnets and stuff to give out, and they want everybody to engage with them and talk to them. And it is the most authentic like appreciation for like a fan base that I've ever seen. And I have famous cosplay friends that are appreciative, but they still want their space. But Bill and Brittany are like, man, they love their fans, and they get so excited meeting the Prop Tarts, and like they actively, it's so nuts. They have really great memories, which is a wonderful thing if you're a public figure. Brittany will point out tons of people and tell me exactly what they're working on.
Yeah.
That is a talent. Like, that's a real talent. I'm talking hundreds of people. She's like, that helmet, oh, he's been working on this. Oh, he's doing this. Oh, how did your samurai this come out? And I'm like, what?
Yeah, like, I have no idea.
She is an actual robot.
Yeah, she is pretty much. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
I love it. And like, just that was an inspiration. That was inspiring for me.
Yeah,
for sure.
I actually haven't had a chance to spend much time with them this year. We've only crossed paths a few times,
but last year you would like do videos and stuff with them. So I guess it's been busy with travel and stuff.
Yeah, it's just we've all just had different schedules and stuff. So
you're due for a hangout.
Yeah, Bill and I have texted each other a few times. He's just like, I miss you, dude. And I'm like, yeah, me too. I guess we're never going to see each other again.
Well, BlizzCon, we'll all see each other there.
Yeah, BlizzCon. So I'm hoping to maybe go visit them here, because my schedule's opened up a little bit now towards the end of the year. I don't have anything pressing. I'm not doing a costume for BlizzCon because you know what? I just don't care at this point.
I am definitely doing a costume.
I just want to go to BlizzCon and have fun.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to worry about costuming. So, so I may end up being able to go to visit them and spend some time with them, because I don't think I've seen them I haven't seen them since Emerald City, which was the end of March.
Yeah.
Beginning of March is the last time I saw them in person, I think, unless I'm forgetting something. So anyway, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that reminds me, there are a lot of people. So you know how you have like work wives and con husbands? Like, you're just friends, but like that's a joke because like we're all old and like we're all,
exactly. Yeah.
It has no real connotation. It's just kind of a joke.
No. Yeah, absolutely.
You're definitely my my like work husband, because everybody asked me about you. Every single person. Maybe like one person didn't. I had hundreds of people ask me, "Where's Eric? Where's Coregeek? Oh, you can make it." Blah, blah. Like, dang, like it was nuts. Like if every one of those people put $1 in, we could have gotten you there.
We could have gotten you to
how many people? It blew my mind. I wanted to write their names down because I was like, this is overwhelming. Like, I could not believe it. We have such an association together. And I was like, yeah, Eric is my work husband.
I'm so happy about that. That makes me feel good.
You were very missed. And like, I was just thinking the whole time, like I messaged you and told you I wish you were there.
I know.
You were there.
I know. Just from your text alone, I was like, okay, I have to make sure I go next year.
Yeah, I mean, just like, it's so much fun just walking around and goofing around, and I just wanted you to by my side so we could just be goofy together, and so we have to do that next year.
Yeah, I have to admit, between you texting me and watching the posts of all my other friends there and seeing all these different makers that I know but have never met in person and missing out on all those opportunities, I was bumming pretty hard. I have to admit. Yeah, it was pretty rough.
But it's okay. You were still in. Nobody. It's not like you were forgotten, which is important.
Oh, I know. And then I have to give a shout out to my buddy Nick from Modulus Props.
Oh gosh, I like him so much. He is such a cool dude. Nice. I'm sorry.
Talk about like chill, mellow guys. I just know that he was repping me with my T-shirt most of the weekend. So
he was, and I'm so bummed I didn't get to see his
and also JT.
Samurai.
Also JT, but I can't remember his page name.
Wait, anyway,
who? JT.
I don't know what is his page?
Starts with a V.
Is it Whisker?
Whiskers. No. Yeah, Whiskers.
Oh, Whiskers. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. For some reason, all I could
think was Whiskers.
I'm pretty sure that's him.
Okay.
Gary, Beer Money Props sent me a photo of them wearing my shirts at one of the get-togethers. So I was like, yeah. So I just want to shout out to everybody, to JT and Nick and everybody else.
And I got to see them all weekend, which was a real treat because I see them in streams all the time. I see them online, so it's great. And they're both really smiley people. I'm surprised at how happy all these prop makers are, considering how much work we do.
Considering how much lack of sleep they all have. And yes, you started talking about Nick's I didn't
get to see it. I'm so bummed. I have followed that progression for
Japanese-inspired sand trooper.
Did the ribbing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I just spent like most of Saturday with him this last Saturday at Emerald City.
Oh, that's cool.
At Rose City Comic-Con because he's local to Portland. And
okay. I didn't realize that.
Spent a lot of time with him on Saturday, and that costume just slays. People, they're just like...
It looks so good.
It is. It's so good. It's one of the best costumes I've ever seen. And it's so well made, and every little detail is just perfection. Yeah. And there's not a flaw in the whole thing. I mean, I know he knows all the flaws, but as far as I'm concerned, that is a flawless costume.
He's extremely talented. I mean, I learned I remember seeing that ribbing technique, and I was like, this guy's really, he's really interesting in his techniques. I've never seen this before. Yeah. And I've been like dying to find a reason to make something like that. Like, it's so cool. So
yeah, Nick, Modulus Props, go follow him if you don't already, because your mind will be blown, and it's almost all foam work, which is incredible. Oh,
I wrote him down on here. Like, literally, Whisker Studio, Modulus Props, by the 9 Designs. I had people also written down by their names. I should have just looked at this.
Yeah. And I actually got a couple. We didn't do like a photo shoot together, but we got a couple pretty good shots because I finally finished my Lando costume. Yay!
Yeah, that helmet thing I've never seen anything like that, but that was really cool. Like that, I don't know what that was. It was cool.
The helmet?
Yeah, like the things, whatever those things are. It's like claws or something.
They're like teeth, I guess.
Yeah, it was cool.
So, anyway, so we're kind of, even though he is the Japanese-inspired style, we're still from the same universe. So it was pretty cool to have a couple photos with him from costumes from the same universe. So
yeah, they're it's like, it's nuts to see all that talent all in one spot. Like, if you think about all the people, like that prop maker pizza thing, to have all those people in the same room, like imagine if somebody just came in like Drew Carey and he was like, guys, you have 4 hours and you will win $50 million if you can make this. Like, we got it. We got it.
We got that. We got
this. Yeah. Do you know who's here? It's fine. Harrison brought his bow. We got a bow. It's fine.
We got a bow. Yeah, we're good. We're good. So it's like, if you could assemble the prop dream team, it's like everybody's here.
Let's Skype the extra people in that are missing for consultation. Like, guys, give us ideas. Like,
right.
It was so fun. Like, I just really enjoyed being around all those people. It's so different. Like, I love all my girl cosplay friends, and they are just, talented and sweet and fun. But there's something about being with like a slightly older crowd that's just, or some aren't older, but it's just a different orientation. It's like a different crowd. Like, I had lunch with a group of 3D modelers, and like that was also game engineer people. And, like, that was a fun, different thing too. It's like, I don't know. It's when you hang around with the same crowd for a while, you kind of you miss. It's just good to have a big, diverse pool of friends. I guess what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's just wonderful. I just learn so much from people all the time, and I find them just so fascinating. I just love humans. They're just so interesting to me. I'm an alien, actually. Sorry, guys. Surprise! I'm just learning from you all. I'm so ridiculous.
Am I gonna title this episode "I Love Humans"? I love humans.
That's great. They're teaching me so much. I might take one with me when I leave. It's you, Eric. Surprise! I've actually been just like connecting through the computer for these few months. You just didn't know it.
Wow. Just pulling me in for the return trip home.
Yep.
Oh no.
Oh man. Anyways, man, yeah, it's a fun time. And Emerald City is gonna be full of really cool people. So who was it that I met that oh man, he was dressed as the Witcher. Is it weird that I remember their association and then don't remember the name? Oh gosh, he works at ECCC every year. Gosh, this is so I cannot stand not remembering someone's name. It's like a little woodpecker just in my skull. He did a Witcher cosplay. It was awesome.
Well, I mean, I know, like...
I might be mixing two things up, actually. That's a first. Or that's
else.
An unusual thing to happen.
Well, my synapse. Probably the most recognizable Witcher guy I know he goes by Mall Cosplay, MAU. But he was at PAX being an official
I'll flip through Facebook and find this person. I'm sorry in advance for that.
I don't play
Also,
Witcher,
can we just talk about something? I met 6 different people named Brian. That was really challenging. Like, I'm like, dude, because I have to remember, like, 3D print Brian, Beatdown Boogie Brian. Like, I had to, and then Brian the Magician. What? I met a magician. It was Bill's roommate. Like, it was a fun way to remember people this weekend.
Well, there's a few Erics out there, too, so.
Yeah. Nick and Brian were my popular names for Dragon Con, though. So. Yeah.
Probably only one Harrison.
Only one Harrison. And I felt Harrison's hair. And let me just say this, because somebody was talking about his hair. And he's like, yeah, see, feel it. And I was like, okay. I thought it was low key. I always think everything's a prank.
Yeah.
And so I touched it and it wasn't a prank. It's like his hair, he had no product in it. His hair is just like the strangest like sponge thing ever. It's like stands up on its own with no product. And it's crazy. It's so thick, dense, like a brush forest.
That's crazy.
It just stays up, and it was nuts. Like, I didn't know what the prank was going to be, but it was just really...
You were waiting for the punchline, and it never happened.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And his wife, Emily, is so much freaking fun. I just absolutely adore that woman. I could spend so much more time with her. She's like me. She talks a lot. Yeah. She's smart. She has a lot of interesting stories and things to say. I just think she's a riot, man. I just really enjoy her. Like,
that's cool.
She's fun.
Someday
She's
I'd like
so
to meet...
different than Harrison.
Someday I'd like to meet them in person. I've never met them, so...
Yeah. Well, they're interesting people. I mean, they're both fun. Harrison is, if I had to describe him to someone, like he's obviously in the group the whole time and all around, and his wife's bubbly and chatty, and he's like this, he's kind of reminds me of a Cheshire cat. I don't know how else to explain it, but he sits in the back and he's always smiling and he's looking around.
And he's just reading people, right?
He's just reading people. And I'm like, what is that guy thinking about? He's standing right beside him and he's still doing it. Like and then he'll just pop out with a story.
Yeah.
And it's just out of nowhere. It's like,
that's
man, he's a very interesting human. I loved getting to see everybody's personalities that you miss online.
Yeah. Like, so would you say he's an interesting cat?
He's an interesting cat, yeah. And Steven Solo Robato, and he is a giant. I'd never met him in person.
Yes, Steve is massively tall.
He felt like he was 8 feet taller than me. Like, that's how tall he feels. He feels like a giant tree. I couldn't believe how tall he was. And his wife, Kit, is amazing. Freaking love that lady. She's super fun. She's so cheeky. She's smart women.
She's quite funny.
Yeah, she's witty and she's quick with the zings. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah. She's fast.
She's fast.
Yep.
So I had a really good time with her. She made a Maleficent costume that was super cool and had hair that like stood this like wig hair thing that was insane. And she was actually taller than Steve because she had the big old shoes on too.
Yeah, because of the shoes and the hair. Yeah, and she's not like a short woman to begin with. So
yeah, but they're like that's true. But I guess beside him, she just looks shorter. But she's not. You're right.
Yeah, they're a pretty good looking
power couple.
Yeah, definitely.
They could definitely do. I wonder if they've done like a Wonder Woman and superhero combo because like she'd be a good Wonder Woman.
Well, they've done Ant-Man and Wasp. I think she was Wasp. Oh. So they've done that. That's kind of a combo.
Yeah. So. The Twitch party, that was another fun thing that we did. Everybody went to I'm so sad. I missed meetups that like I had on my agenda. Like I missed the Fox Shop meetup for Volpin, his studio. I'm so sad I didn't get to that. I also missed the jump, kick, punch panel because it was 30 minutes after my panel. And this was the only complaint. Getting from the Hilton to my hotel, back to my hotel room, was the slowest crawl I have ever experienced. And then I'm pretty sure the panel was in the Hilton. So I could have just stayed in the Hilton. I know.
Oops.
And I can't believe that. I was in Varian, so I wanted to go change and then go to the panel. And it was 45 minutes later or something. And it took me 30 minutes to get back to my hotel room.
Wow.
You had to wait in this queue system just to get in the rabbit tunnel.
Just to get into the tunnel.
Oh, it was brutal.
Crazy.
And I didn't want to be rude to people. Obviously, after the end of the panel, I was in costumes. That's why people want to take pictures. So I wanted to take as many pictures as I could. And they have this clear the room policy because there's lines for panels.
Gotcha.
And so I felt so bad because we were being shooed out.
Ushered out while you're trying to interact with people. Yeah, that's difficult. Nice. I've had that before too, and it's just hey, I want to talk.
Rude.
I want to talk to you, but we have to leave.
I'm so sorry. And then once you're in the line, you can't stop. There's certain parts you can't even step out because you're so big or the line's so small.
You get into the flow, and it's just it's like fish going downstream. It's psh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's a lot of the herding of the cattle thing, but so something else that happened at DragonCon that was crazy is there was a guy there watching a football game and he threw a chair over the 10th floor and hit this lady in the head. I don't know if you saw that.
Say that again.
So at DragonCon, this was so crazy. There was a guy watching a football game apparently on the 10th floor and I don't know if he couldn't hear. He got mad some reason, threw a chair over. And, hit the lady in the head. And so another thing that was crazy is right where the little prop group is all standing, the big maker, our maker friends are all standing, 15 feet away, this lady drops a wine bottle and it shatters on the floor. And it was literally no more than 50. It was very close. And the EMS and the cops tried to block it off because of the height it fell. It really went far, and a big piece of glass got this girl in the leg. So they're holding pressure on it, and I couldn't believe. I was I live streamed and I was dude, this just happened. I had just walked past it, and I walked under where it dropped.
Crazy.
And I live streamed. I was oh, sorry guys, I was gonna take you back and say bye to everybody, but there's this is blocked off, and then it was right there. I'm dude, that could have knocked me out, dude.
Not just knock you out, man. It could kill somebody. I mean, that's
I can't believe the chair didn't. That is
enough.
Luck.
I mean, that's enough weight that a bottle, hit you in the right spot on the head. You could be done.
Yeah, and it was so scary. Done. I wish people would be a little more careful. Because it's definitely not. It's all it takes is one person. It's unfortunate though that it's so pretty that you can overlook and see the whole grouping of people down there, but obviously it leaves danger for people dropping stuff. And
it's just people need to be I mean, come on.
When there's that many people in an area like that, there's going to be more
responsibility.
And it's just weird to me that people aren't like that. Are just kind of crazy. But
I guess not everybody's as happy to meet other humans as you are, Jack.
Yeah, they really should. I mean, they need to get that sorted because they're pretty great.
All right. Well, cool.
So that was DragonCon. So
you sufficiently talked out about DragonCon?
I think so. There may be others. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that happened, but it was real fresh in my mind. I had a big Skype fest with Liz and just
See, we didn't get a chance to talk as soon as you got back, so it just kind of messed everything up. So
that's okay though, because it'll continue to come up.
So we're getting regurgitated old stories. Liz got all the fresh stuff.
Yeah, but it was fun, and Liz was at PAX West, which she had a really great time at with her friends.
I was really Yeah, she was I was really, really bummed I wasn't able to go to PAX because I was jamming to get my stuff done to go to Rose City. Because I had my whole family with me for Rose City, and it was like I needed to have my stuff done.
But that was really freaking cool that you had like a whole family cosplay. Like that's unique.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. We try to do that at least twice a year. But so I didn't get to go to PAX because I was still con crunching, trying to finish things that I hadn't finished for Emerald City like back in February. So there you go.
Well, and it's packed anyway, so it's like, where
does all the time go?
Yeah, where does the time go? I have no idea. That you just gave me anxiety saying that out loud. I have like it's 49 days or something till BlizzCon, and I can't even handle it.
We will get started in BlizzCon in the next episode. I'm going to end this episode, and it's not going to be a two-parter. We'll just say this is it for BlizzCon, okay?
No, this isn't it for BlizzCon. This is it for DragonCon, Eric.
Sorry, DragonCon. Let's try that again.
Is on the nigh.
This is it for DragonCon. Thank you for listening to DragonCon episode.
And thanks for everybody that said hi. You're the best.
Yeah, Turtle. We'll see you, Turtle. We'll see you next time on Craft and Geek.
Bye.